Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Time Traveler's Handbook. Today we are talking about Heaven Sent, which is Season 8, Episode 11 of Doctor Who. As always, spoilers ahead, and this one is one that I would really encourage you to watch, even if you don't know anything about Doctor Who. This episode is fantastic. In this episode, after the Doctor witnesses the death of Clara in the previous episode, he is imprisoned in his confession dial, trapped in a loop until he confesses about the hybrid to the Gallifreyans. So I want to spend this episode talking about what the loop that he is trapped in is, its characteristics, and kind of what you can take from the structure of the loop. And then in the next episode, we're going to talk more about kind of the implications of a loop like this. So first off, the terminology that I'm going to use here is I'm going to call this time loop a non-temporal time loop. This is the most prominent example of a non-temporal time loop that I can think of. In fact, out of all of the other time travel movies that I've seen, I cannot think of a single one that really falls under this category. This is very, very unique in the time loop space. The loop occurs when the Doctor creates a perfect clone of himself from a teleporter at the end of his life. He sacrifices the last of his life energy to power the machine that brought him to the castle that he's imprisoned in, which still has a memory of his matter after teleporting him there. Thus, time has passed and time hasn't reset at all, causing a buildup of skulls, which are his own, to form in the lake in the prison. The loop is solely perpetuated by the teleportation machine, and if it is ever not turned on again, the loop would simply end, because turning that machine on is essentially a reset button for the loop. The loop is interestingly primarily deterministic, because the clone of the Doctor that has come out of the teleportation device comes into the same world that the previous one had left. There are a couple of differences between the loops, however, that are very important. First, all of the rooms reset in between loops, meaning that if he affected them in any way, they go back to their original state. There is one room that is an exception to this, which includes a large amount of pure diamond. The room does not reset, meaning that the Doctor can break the diamond and escape the prison from the other side. The showrunner, Stephen Moffat, explains that this room is not a room in the castle, but rather the outer wall of the confession dial that he is trapped in, which makes sense to why it is not reset. Second, the position of the stars changes as time progresses normally, indicating that the world around the prison is proceeding at a normal rate, but things are reset from within. That's also true with the room that doesn't reset because it's technically outside of the prison. But this is how the Doctor sees that time has progressed initially, because he sees the position of the stars and he sees that they're different from when he left. And the third thing is that the amount of skulls in the lake increases as time goes on, because the Doctor continues to add to the pile of skulls with more of his own skulls. But the lake is apparently deep enough that this is inconsequential even after billions of iterations. So this is a non-temporal time loop, because from the perspective of the individual trapped inside of it, they are beginning at the beginning of the day over and over again. But there is no actual resetting of the day happening on a temporal level. Next time we're going to dive deeper into what all of this means, but I wanted to really nail down the definition of this kind of a loop because it's very, very interesting to talk about and something that I have never seen anywhere else. The fact that you can use a time loop in a world that doesn't have time loops that can work is fascinating to me. So next time we're going to talk more about the consequences of the loop, and we'll see you next time. As always, thank you for listening.